This is Doug Payne back again with another helmet cam, and this is on a horse you've probably seen a bunch of but haven't yet seen a helmet cam. Horse called Royal Tribute. He's owned by myself, Kristen Bergers, and Larry and Amelia Ross, and he's actually heading out onto cross country here at the American Eventing Championships in the lead on a 22.7. He's a fabulous horse, and I got to say this is probably the most difficult visual conditions that I've ever had to ride in. In general, Tribute, or we call him the Prodigy, also at the barn, he's an excellent horse. He's very brave and honest, really good with angles, that sort of thing. And he's actually done basically a year's worth of prelim at this point. So we're heading out, I'll see if I can do my best to make the time and not add anything on to my total here. So the first couple fences setting out, get a nice couple galloping ones in a row, and then you got the first sort of technical question, an angle coming right up here, and it's an angled 3-stride line. And like I said, he's very good with angles, and you can see his ears are sort of pricked up, and never a doubt whether he's on it or not. As you can see now, this is sort of a foretelling of what's going to happen coming up here, going into the sun and the fog. It was pretty unbelievable. I think there's a couple shots in this video that you can see that you probably only have maybe 5 or 6 strides before the fence before you can actually see A, where the fence is, but B, make a decision on where you're going to jump it and how you're going to jump it and all that. So it's very important to have a visual idea in your head of the course, and so as we're going around, not necessarily have to be able to spotting the jump from far away, which ultimately I was actually wishing when I was on course here that I had walked it one more time, because going around, just as you can see here, it's difficult to see anything in the horizon. We got a couple of really good galloping fences here, and this is a spot in the course that I made a decision that I really need to move on and see if we can't make up some time. You got a little steeplechase jump here, and then into the sun and fog. We're going to get right up next to, there's a roping on the right hand side here. There's actually an advanced fence that you'll be seeing that is just wide enough to fit a horse between, so I figure it's going to shave a second or two off, so we'll head right between the roping you see on the right and the jump right there on the left. And we've got now an oxer turning to a sort of a skinny oxer, and it's one spot in the course I got totally backwards. Got right up underneath that one, and he rubbed it and didn't really make a quick enough decision on this turn to get back in a going mode, so I was kind of kicking myself for that. And reason being, he's got an absolute massive stride, and so we're still working at this point. He's actually 18.1 hands tall, so he's quite a big horse, and sometimes he's difficult to compress, and I just got backwards. I didn't get it done early enough. But anyway, long story short, recovered from that, on to the next. This was a very difficult combination, I thought, coming up here, a little sort of sunken road. Come up, blind landing. He was very good to handle that. And he got 5 strides up to the house, and then another 3 to this other hilltop. But like I said, he handles this stuff very, very well, and he's dead honest. So we're splitting now between the beginner, novice, and novice jumps. Save a little time. We're going to head up the hill, and there's a house right at the crest of the hill, and then we're heading down to the water complex. And water complex, again, was another really difficult portion in this course. It's sort of an uphill ramp to the first brush fence, and again, you wouldn't have been able to see anything behind it. So again, another blind landing, sort of testing to make sure the horses are really that bold. Good jump into water, and then 4 or 5 strides out over a house that's actually in the water. So we're coming up to it now. Difficult to see with this fog, though. We got uphill landing, jumps it really well. Got a forward ride into the drop. There's a number of horses were sticky off that. And we actually got one trot step there, but just gave him a big kick, and he was on and going. I got to tell you, this portion of the course was absolute challenge. Going here, and there's a massive ditch and wall, probably the biggest fence on the course, coming up ahead of us. As you can see, this is by far the most dense portion of fog in the course, and you can see the water vapor starting to splash onto the lens a little bit. And in this case, I thought I was on the correct path, but I was hugging the roping on the left and just basically hoping that we got the right one. And then as soon as I saw that the brush there, I knew it was in good shape. Got a good strong ride into it. Second sort of mistake I made here, this is actually a 3-stride, these two, and took the inside line, and the 2 is right there, so we just kicked on for it. It worked out really well. Now again, visibility becomes a pretty big problem. We're going right into the sun, but the fog was so dense that it just almost looks like a gray wall that you're jumping into. It's made a little worse, I think, obviously, because So we had a table there. Coming up here, we've got a vertical, it was a 5-stride bending line into a very narrow corner. Right by this tree, which is my visual point. We got that, and you can see here's the first one, look left. Again, very difficult to see, but there you go. You can just see at the very last moment, see the corner. Now we've got just 2 to go, and checked down my watch, and actually I was in pretty decent shape at this point. I had to keep moving on, but I wasn't chasing it down. Got a good jump at the second to last here, and then just a long gallop home. So I was very excited, especially at this point. I knew we were in pretty good shape time-wise, and just wanted to get a good last jump here. You can see the vapors collecting in the lens the further we go into this. But Hugh Lahore did an excellent job with the course, and of course we got to also thank Carl Buchart for putting the AECs on at Chattahoochee Hills, because it's an absolutely beautiful place, and it's going to be hard to match it in years to come.